Welcome everyone, I am Dr. Manoj Kumar Sharma, Associate Professor, IITS College of Pharmacy, Muradnagar. This is the lecture number 26 and this is a continuation of designing the methodology topic of unit 3. This is the lecture for the course Bachelor in Pharmacy and the subject is Biostatistics and Research Methodology. The code is BP 801T and the university is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University. The contents of this lecture are report writing, presentation of data, protocol, cohort studies and observational studies. So, these some points we read in this lecture. First is report writing. Research report is considered a major component of the research study of the research task remains incomplete till the report has been presented and or written. The purpose of the research is not well served unless the findings are made known to others. So, research results must invariably enter the journal store of knowledge. Writing of report is the last step in the research study and requires a set of skills somewhat different from those called for in respect of the earlier stages of the research. So, this task should be accomplished by the researcher with utmost care. He or she may seek the assistance and guidelines of experts for this purpose. There are different steps in report writing. The usual steps involved in report writing are logical analysis of the subject matter, second preparation of the finding outlines, third the preparation of the rough draft of the our collected data or our research, and rewriting and polishing the rough draft. After that, preparation of the final bibliography and writing the final draft. So, these are the some steps in report writing. And the layout of the report. The layout of the report means as to what the research report should contain. That means, how we prepare a report or what will be the layout to complete a prepare report. A comprehensive layout of the research report should comprise three things. First is preliminary pages, second the main text and last is the end matter. So, when we prepare a report and or when we write the report, these three main component of report writing, preliminary pages, the main text and the end matter. So, what is preliminary pages? In its preliminary pages, the report should carry a title and date followed by acknowledgements in the form of preface or foreword. So, in preliminary pages, we should first write title of our study, then what date on which you have writing the report, and then you write the acknowledgement in the form of preface or foreword. Then there should be a table of contents followed by a list of tables and illustration, so that the decision maker or anybody interested in reading the report can be easily locate the required information in the report. So, after the writing the acknowledgement, we should write a table of contents which contain the list of tables and it also have illustration, so that the decision maker or another person interested in reading your research, he can easily locate the things. Second is main text. When we write our report, the second term is the main text provides the complete outline of the research report along with all details. The title of the research study is repeated at the top of the first page of the main text and then follows the other details on page numbered consecutively beginning with the second page. Each main section of the report should begin in a new page. So, when you write a report, you should remember this thing. When you write any main section, so you should start the main section with new page. Okay. Third, the main text of the report should have the following section. First is introduction of our study, in which you introduce your study, then statement of findings and recommendations. In this you will write what you have already finds or what your achievements in the study and recommendations, and you also write the results of your study in the main text. Also we write the implication drawn from the result, or what are the main inference of your study, or you can say what is the conclusion or extract of your study. So, you should write the main implication which you have find your result in your study, and in the last you have write a summary about your study. So, these all things you have write the in main text when you write a report. And third is end matter. At the end of the when we writing the ending part of our report, at the end of the report appendices should be enlisted in respect of all technical data such as questionnaire, sample information, mathematical derivation and the like ones. After that you write bibliography of sources consulted should also be given, indexes, and when you write indexes, an alphabetical listing of names, place and topics with the numbers of pages in a book or report on what they are mentioned or discussed. So, these all things you write in index. After that you should write invariably given at the end of report the value of index lines in the fact that it works as a guide to reader for the contents in the report. So, we write indexes which helpful to reader to locate your content. Now, the second topic this lecture is presentation of data. The data presentation is defined as the process of using various tables and graphical formats to visually represent the relationship between two or more data set, so that an informed decision can be made based on them. So, after the collecting of the data, this is the next step to is presentation of the data in our research work, and we want to present the data in the form of either in the form of table or in the form of graph, and these can be helpful to make the decision from the table and graph of your research work. The presentation of data, as I told you, tables and graph. The tables are different types. First is simplest way to present the data. Why we prepare table there? The tables it is a simplest way to present data, and second, data are presented as absolute number or percentage. The second types of presentation is charts and graphs. In charts and graph, it is a visual representation of the data, and data are presented as absolute number or percentage same. Basic guidance when summarize the data: to make your graphs as self-explanatory as possible, there are several things to always include. So, when we prepare graphs or table, we should keep some points in our mind. Every table or graph should have a title or heading. This is the main important first point when we prepare a table or graph, or when we summarize our data. Every table or graph should have a title or heading. Second, the x and y axis of graph should be labeled. Include value labels such as percentage or include a legend. Third is always cite the source of your data and put the date of data or collection or publication. Provide the sample size or the number of people to which the graph is reference, and it include a footnote if graph is not self-explanatory. So, these are the points when we prepare a graph. This is the first table, simple frequency distribution table. In this we have two columns. In first column we have variable, and in the second column we have frequency. For example, it is a set of category with numbered counts. This is the frequency, and in this example we for in 100 year the number of births are 61, it may be thousands or lakhs. So, you should explain either it is 1000 or in lakh. In 1901 58 births, in 1902 the number of births 75. So, this is the frequency and this is the year is variable. So, this is simple frequency distribution table. Another table is relative frequency table. Sometimes we want to show the relative frequency. So, what is the relative frequency? The relative frequency is equal to the number of values within an interval divided by the total number of values in the table into 100. So, how we calculate the relative frequency for this year? 35 upon 132 multiplied by 100, then it will be 27. So, relative frequency, when we calculate relative frequency, it equal to the number of values in an interval divided by the total number of value in the table into 100. So, this is the relative frequency, percentage relative frequency table, in which we have relative frequency also with along simple frequency. Another frequency table is complex frequency distribution table. In this table is the distribution of 20 lung cancer patient in the chest department of Alexandra Hospital and 40 controls in May 2008 according to smoking. So, here we have two variable, one is the disease, that is lung cancer, and second variable is explanatory variable, that is smoking. So, here we have two variable, smoking and lung cancer. Lung cancer have further classification, cases and control, and smoking variable have two levels or two class, smoker or non-smoker. So, in this we write the lung cancer, the 15 patient have lung cancer and are smokers, and 8 are control who have smoker, but they have no disease, that means they are control, and these 5 are non-smoker, but they have this lung cancer or cases, and these 32 are they are not smoker and they have no disease. So, in the total 100 patient we find like this. So, this is called complex frequency distribution table. Sometimes it is also called contingency table. Now, next is graphical representation of data. The graphical, when we present the data in the form of graph, so we take x axis and y axis on the graph, and we know in graphical representation, on this side the value of x are positive, and on this side value of x are negative, and on upper side value of y are positive, and in this side are negative. So, if we want to plot any point on the graph, for example, I want to plot 2 3. So, here the value of x, we remember when we plot or to show a point on the graph, so the first value for x axis and this is for y axis, and this is called the coordinate of a point. So, here value of x is 2 and y of 3. So, if we take 1 2 3 like this on x axis and 1 2 3 on y axis. So, 2 for 2 we go move like this, and 3 value of 3 is here. So, this is move this and we got the point is here. So, like this we show the points on the graph, and if we have any point, another point minus 3 and 1. So, you see here the value of x in this minus 3 is lie on left side, as on left side the value of x are negative. So, we take minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So, minus 3 is here, we move like this, and 1 is positive. So, it is on upper side. So, value of y is we take from here and we move like this, and this is the point minus 3 and 1. So, this is the we like in this way we show the points on the graph. In the graph we have different types of graph: line graph, frequency polygon, frequency curve, histogram, bar diagram, scatter plot, and another diagrammatic representation is pie chart and some statistical maps. So, first is line graph. For example, we have a variable in mental mortality rate in different time intervals, that is 90, 162, 2000, and we have a data in 90, 60, 50 percent, the mortality is 50%, and in 90, 70 the mortality MMR is 45%, in 90, 80 26, 90, 90 15. So, we remember when we plot a line graph, we take the frequency on y axis and the time or this variable on x axis. So, this is the number of this is the MMR per 1000, and here time is year. The first is 90, 60 is 50. So, if 90, 60 is here and point 50 is here, so we move like this and find a point. Similarly, 90, 70, 45, this here 90, 80, 26, 90, 90, 15, this point is here, 15 point lie here, and 200, 2000, this is 12. So, we get the point these, and if we join all these points with a straight line, then we find the line graph. Another is frequency polygon. Frequency polygon, we have a data in which we have two variables, male, gender, further classified sex in male and female, and age class interval 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50 and so on. This is the age of different groups, and we want to draw the frequency polygon of this. So, frequency polygon, as we have our variable sex, two class males and female. So, we first find the midpoint of this. First we find the midpoint of time, that is 20 to 30 by 2, this is 25. Then we find the midpoint of in time interval 30 plus 40 equal to 35 and so on. And to draw the frequency polygon of this, we draw for male and female separately. First we draw the frequency polygon for males. If here we have M 12%, 36%, 8%, 16% and 80%, and the midpoint are 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. So, in this our example, we take frequency on this and this on y axis, and this is we find the two polygons you see here, and the purple for female and blue for male sorry. And if we join the points rough hand with the help of rough hand, then we find a curve, and this is called frequency curve. So, in line graph we join the points with a straight line, and in the frequency curve we join the points with the help of a simple curve or with the help of rough hand, then we find a frequency curve. And histogram is another graphical representation. It is a continuous frequency distribution of the data. So, if we have 25 to 30 years, 30 to 40 years like age, and the frequency is 3, 5. So, for 25 to 30, 25 to 30 the age is on 25 we have age 25 to 30. First we find the frequency for each, and then we draw the histogram. Bar chart is another graphical representation, and it is a diagrammatic representation of the data, and here data defined by the simple bars, and the height of the bars represent the data, while in the histogram the data represented by the rectangles, and the data represented by the area of the rectangles. So, in histogram the height and breadth of the rectangle is important for us, while in bar chart only height is important, width is not important for us. This is the simple bar chart in which we have some data. This is a cluster bar chart in which we have for male and female. This is simple bar chart. In this example, we have single, married, divorced and widowed on the basis of their marital status, and we further classify into male and female. So, this is cluster bar chart, and the pie chart is a circular representation of our data, in which each sector of the circle represent the data. Now, protocol, a research protocol is a formal written recorded that one prepare before research field work is undertaken. The tools the really architect the study is protocol. Protocol a complete written description of and scientific rationale for a research activity involving human subjects. Why we protocol? To clarify the research question, to compile existing knowledge, to formulate a hypothesis and objective, to decide about study design, to clarify ethical consideration, to apply for funding, to have a guideline tool for the research arm. The main component of medical research protocol are project title, introduction, objectives, hypothesis, review of literature, methodology, ethics, statistical evaluation, limitation and reference. There are two types of, and another topic is observational studies. Observational studies are one where researcher observe the effect of risk factor, diagnosis test, treatment or other intervention without trying to change who is in or it exposed to it. Cohort studies and case control studies are two types of observational studies. Advantages of observational studies: It is simple and inexpensive. We get first hand information, we gain a deeper understanding of process that survey cannot obtain. But there are some disadvantages in observational study. There are possibly observed effects which may bias the finding. For example, complete participant observer may unethically develop the point of view of the subject group, or he or she may not be able to find themselves, to read themselves or previous prejudice. There are problems of ethics. There is a reliance on subjective measurement. Cohort is another type of study or longitudinal observational study which investigate predictive risk factors and health outcomes. They differ from clinical trials in that no intervention, treatment or exposures is administered to the participant. The factors of interest to research already exist in the study group under the investigation. Study participants are observed or over a period of time. The incidence of disease in the exposed group is compared with the incidence of disease in the unexposed group. Because of the observational nature of cohort study, they can only find the correlation between the risk factor and disease rather than a cause. That means, here we find the relationship, not cause and effect. Cohort studies are useful as there are perceived hypotheses linking an exposure to an outcome. The time between exposure and outcome is not long, cost and increasing the risk of participant attrition. The outcome is not too rare. Thank you.